This is like a 3 out of 5.
Are you sure? It's going to be a short one anyway, this one, isn't it? We're going to end up talking about movies, and I haven't seen Blade Runner 2 yet.
I do need to go to bed at half sensible time. I've got school run in the morning.
I saw Isle of Dogs, and that was amazing.
Good.
Is it good?
No idea. It was absolutely amazing. But I also saw Ghost Stories as well, so those were my two favourite movies of 2018 already. And Infinite War is just there because it's there. It was good. Solid.
Is Isle of Dogs basically another Wes Anderson film?
No.
I'm okay with that, but
No. It's got the art style, but it's really, and it's got those weird like nostalgic sort of callbacks to other Wes Anderson movies, but it doesn't feel totally like a Wes Anderson film. If you've watched a lot of his films, it doesn't feel like that.
Interesting.
I think there's only one scene where they're introducing sort of the love interest for two of the dog characters. That's a bit Wes Anderson-like and kind of, I don't know. Scarlett Johansson plays Scarlett Johansson in dog form, basically.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, she literally, you could just plaster her face on a border collie, and that was pretty much.
I challenge you whether you could or not. Yes.
But it was still
Weird bench.
It was still charming.
I think I'd pay money for that though to see
the whole movie was. Actually, the whole movie, I don't really like dogs, but by the end of it, I was okay with dogs. You know, they can exist. Most times, I'm just like, get away from me, fucking smelly, wet animal, slobbering because you've got nothing better to do. But, because I'm much more of a cat person, but cats are portrayed, like, awfully in this movie. They get a very bad rap.
Good to the shit.
So how they are in real life.
Yes.
Cats are amazing, yeah.
They're not amazing.
They are literally amazing.
They're a lot of things, but they're not amazing.
They are amazing. Cats are
disrespectful.
amazing. Yeah, that's great. They don't fucking love you just because you fucking put some food in a bowl or take them for a walk or throw a round thing
or a toy.
They make you work for it. They
Cats, basically the worst.
Yeah,
Cats,
literally, and I love them.
Possibly operating in gangs.
Yeah, literally dancing gangs of cats. What?
Have you ever heard that soundbite of Noel Edmonds trying to hypnotize a cat?
No.
Okay. I listen to too much Sean Keaveney on Six Music in the mornings, and he plays that clip as well.
Also, as I said, Ghost Stories, very good. I would recommend that. I don't usually like the guy that played Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit, but he was acceptable in his capacity in this movie. And the story's just really well crafted, and you kind of, if you're half attentive, you get where it's going. But it's a really good, like, minor sort of British horror movie.
Where's the real Benj? This is all very constructive comments on cinema. I don't understand.
I don't know. I thought you were going to be like worse tonight, so I decided to fill in. Like for
worse about what?
I don't know. To be honest, I mean, I'm usually here for the preamble, and then I'm kind of
playing games.
I mean, I'm playing a game at the moment. I have to get my. I had 3 hours sleep last night because I had to shoot things. I'm that kind of volatile at the moment. I have to shoot things.
Okay.
You know? Well, not like that. I have to kill, like,
puppies.
Digital. No, not puppies. Digital representations of everything that I loathe in life, basically.
Politicians.
To, just report to the authorities.
What? No. I don't know. I like competitive gaming, and it's fun.
Do you?
Yeah, I get angry. No, I meant like where I don't have to go to a shop and game. The other gaming.
You'll get plenty angry enough over the Welsh match.
Do you think I will? I don't think many people know who I am anymore, give a crap, or will even speak to me. So.
You can borrow my "I used to be a big deal" T-shirt.
I was never a big deal. Like I
used to be a community figure T-shirt.
Good in that too.
Is this
good in Mark 2? Like that one, yeah. Good in Mark 2.
Is this even a community? I haven't even heard anything more about Wumkiss or whatever the hell it's called. Blumkiss. No,
he's having a baby. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, who's having a baby? What, the whole tournament's having a baby? What?
No, Chris is. Chris has had a baby.
Yeah.
What, he had the baby?
The UK on Super Series is still going ahead. There's still heats playing.
He had the baby.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh wow, Jesus! Shouldn't
So
we
I'm not
be
going
talking
to let you have
about that?
that. I'm not going to entertain that one.
Shouldn't we be talking about that as a breakthrough of like scientific?
I don't believe science was involved
It's
at all.
all
I think it was a magical exploit. I don't believe science was involved at all. I think it was an occult mysticism effect. Yeah.
A cult.
Yes.
Someone asked me what my favorite Avengers character was, and I said Hydra.
Nice.
And that was at the dinner before the Infinity War, and everybody
Good
kind of looked
answer.
at me, kind of funny. And then I just whispered in someone's ear, "Hey, Hydra!" And yeah, that was the end of that.
They burned you alive.
Yeah,
They
it
threw you out of
wasn't.
an airplane.
Well, I was kind of balanced between sitting next to my missus, who was like really not well, who went to the cinema anyway and looked like death throughout the entire movie. So I was, enjoying it, excited, and then I looked over and I was like, now I'm worrying because she looks like she's about to keel over and die. So I had
that was a similar experience to me. I was sat there watching Infinity War, like slowly dying through a cold. I'm thinking the air conditioning's a bit up in here. Then I tried to stand up and went, "Oh no, I'm just dying."
Did you fall over?
You had a German experience. I went with my children. Do you know what I was most astounded by? I went the opening weekend on Sunday afternoon, and it got to the end. And I know everybody knows by now, but the cinema was rammed and full before the trailer started.
Nice.
It was everyone sat down, food, popcorn going nuts, eating it during the trailers. Perfect, really good, sort of collaborative audience, if you like. And then and almost no one came in late, and then not a soul moved at the start of the credits. No one.
I was a bit apprehensive of mine lot because we had people that wouldn't let you get to your seats at the start because we were in the middle. I don't usually sit in the middle, so being me, I'm fucking weird. And
I sit right at the back on the aisle, so I have legroom.
I sit next to the wall with the stair. Yeah. You know where the inevitable staircase is underneath you, basically. I sit there so I can, and I sit against the wall.
I like that. I can see that. I can see the benefit of that, yeah.
And I've always enjoyed that angle, but so I enjoyed the movie from a slightly different angle, which was straight in the middle, but it wasn't too bad, basically, so...
I can see that. I've got used to sitting right in the middle, having had an ex who was a bit claustrophobic and liked to be able to get near the gangway. I'm like, legroom? Right, I'm sitting here forever.
See, Kurt, what you need to do is you need to come to our local View cinema because they have every single chair is a recliner.
I think it's expensive, doesn't it?
Yeah, View is expensive.
It's in the south. It's expensive.
So,
anytime anyone complains about something expensive, you're like, it's X. Like wargaming, it's expensive. Live it in the cinema, it's expensive. Everything's expensive. Like, yeah.
Yes, Benj. Welcome to adult life. Everything is expensive.
I know. I had to pay my winter gas bill. It was fucking... and I'm saying winter gas bill. This was actually my spring probably gas bill, but because of fucking Arctic Russia coming and visiting us for like a couple of
weeks. We all had this, Benj. I think everybody's paying off £80 a month direct debits at the moment in order to clear off the backlog of.
To fucking Gazprom, fucking
or
and
whoever,
Putin,
or however you heat your house. I don't think it matters.
Are you saying it's some sort of Putinish conspiracy?
Literally, the weather machine is real. The weather machine is real. Like Cobra Commander did it. It's, Destro's weather machine, actually. Sorry, not Cobra Commander.
Of course, made easier by the fact the Earth is flat and you can really just, get some good speed with a big fan.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. Are we in spoilers for Infinity War, or is it like?
So I don't know how we do that. Really, we might have to announce "Don't listen to us" if you haven't seen it. But then we probably have a lot of people switch off. Well, both people will switch off.
I mean, most people, should have seen it by now. To be honest, come on.
Bold statement.
It really is. Some people probably won't see it until it's on Blu-ray. So.
Oh well, I hate those people. At
a very deep and personal level.
That was on Blu-ray.
What's on Blu-ray?
I didn't see Thor Ragnarok until that was on Blu-ray.
I haven't seen it, but I don't mind if you spoil it.
What?
I haven't seen Black Panther yet.
No,
but
I
have
haven't seen
I
Black Panther.
saw Ragnarok in cinema and I loved it. It was so good.
Black Panther is worth seeing.
I'm going to. We didn't have time. It was just one of those things.
I'm going to avoid. Right, just going to say it. But I'm going to avoid all the relevant piss taking that can come that involves the words Kevin Bryant when it comes to Black Panther because it was too easy after a while.
Oh, didn't he have a big complaint about back?
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was quite amusing. So,
now, I will say Black Panther worth seeing. I don't think it's as good as some people are saying it is, but it's a very solid film. It does suffer from Marvel syndrome, which is like about an hour and 10 minutes in. You kind of sat there for about 20 minutes going.
I tell you what made me go recently was introducing people who, and mainly my parents, to The Last Jedi. It does not translate well again on DVD. I really didn't enjoy
Half of that
it.
sentence was redundant, wasn't it?
What do you mean?
Doesn't translate well. It's just poorly edited. It just could be so much of a better film just if they rearranged it a bit.
See, I love The Last Jedi in the cinema. I haven't watched it on home video yet.
Just don't. Just avoid it.
Yeah.
Like
We'll say that TFA really did suffer on home video.
Oh,
that is a film that went. I was so enthusiastic about it, and then when I watched it on home video, it's like, yeah.
So I was unimpressed with Last Jedi in the cinema, and then I watched a Blu-ray copy of it, and it just dropped like a stone.
Do you know what kills it? Do you know what kills it? It's that fucking stupid submission to give two characters something to do.
Oh, we're not flying Leia in space then. Well done.
No,
yeah.
well, no, that at that point, that's fine. I mean, those two. What?
Ben, you are so wrong.
What am I wrong about? Giving Rey and like Rose just some of the worst fucking action like.
So the whole Rose and Finn thing is to turn him from Finn
Coward.
because Rey's being there into Finn being there because Finn wants to be there.
It's still it's bad pacing.
That is the only character development arc in the whole film. But
it's bad pacing. It's really badly done.
So I think it's poorly edited. I think that bit of the story isn't bad. I quite like that bit of the story. I think the initial sequences are in that order because it seems to look good, but it doesn't make any sense because right at the beginning you start off with the Alliance, which is some months after the end of Force Awakens, and then you jump to Rey a matter of weeks, if not even a few days after the end of Force Awakens. And you go,
what I would say is that poor editing is actually something that's come up in a lot of films recently, because you don't have anymore seemingly these vicious editors who go, this film will be 90 minutes. Tell a story in 90 minutes. I will work with that and we can do it. They all seem to go, well, this could be 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 2.25 hours. It's like, no. If you're going over 90 minutes, have a reason to go over 90 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. And I know most people hate Suicide Squad, but it's a perfect example.
No, I love Suicide Squad.
Really?
I love Suicide Squad.
Okay,
it's the best of the DC movies by.
Whoa, no, that's Wonder Woman. Sorry.
Oh, no, okay.
That's Wonder Woman.
That's Wonder Woman. I forgot.
That's Wonder Woman. How could you forget
Wonder Woman? Well, it's a close run thing, I think, with Wonder Woman for very different reasons.
Okay, I liked it for many different reasons than most people probably did. Mainly because of just like the military stuff, because I love that kind of shit. Because that's me. But that movie got butchered. If you've spoken to Jared Leto's overhyped anyway. But
Jared Leto needed to be gone from that film.
Oh, I really like him though.
But he
Joker and needs to go.
Okay.
I liked it.
It wasn't actually as bad. It's not.
I liked his Joker a lot.
Okay, but aside from that, that movie was butchered in editing, and it seemed to start a trend basically of executives doing reshoots and then mashing stuff together, which doesn't make sense.
It's very true of
I don't think you save Suicide Squad by having a different edit on that film. I think it's not just the editing, it's how it was shot as well. It's what the characters are actually doing. But I still think it's
okay. So Wonder Woman is a better film all round. It has both a classic movie structure and everything else. But I still think Suicide Squad is better than The Dawn of Justice and Justice League. It's just way better.
I haven't even bothered watching those because, frankly, DC's output depresses me. Because they seem to have forgotten where the color dial is in the editing suite. They just need to bump it up by like 3,000%. Just, maybe have a little.
I don't think that's the problem. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's just they just don't seem to. They just. I don't know if they. I don't know. They just don't understand what they're trying to make.
Suicide Squad.
They're trying to make a grim and gritty universe, and it's really not working.
I still preferred the Suicide Squad to Thor 2, which I saw recently, because we're working through the Thors, and I really...
Thor 2 is the worst Marvel movie. I totally agree with you. It's the worst one. I have 19 movies, Thor 2, and there's some really good bits of it. There's some awesome bits of it. On the whole, just atrocious. It's the worst one.
The enemies...
It's Christopher Eccleston.
Of course, Eccleston's fantastic, but it just fizzles out, and you're like, oh, it could be so much better.
The enemies are kind of interesting looking, but they don't do anything apart from shoot lasers.
Yeah, I like those characters. I like the Dark Elves and the Thor stories. They're fantastic, and they weren't made the most of.
Yeah.
No, I have been slowly going through the Marvel movies and rewatching. The next one is Doctor Strange. But yeah, Thor 2 is very firmly rooted to the bottom of my list of Marvel movies.
It's hard to imagine any of the others being anywhere near that far down. It just is, yeah.
I'm working through the Nolan movies at the moment. The Batman.
They're just good. They're just good.
They're just good.
They're just good.
It just didn't even need to be Batman. It could have been generic, whatever.
The Dark Knight.
I have issues with that series.
Why?
The Dark Knight. I think The Dark Knight is a top 10 movie on IMDb and so many other lists for a damn good reason. What is your issue?
Right, Batman Begins.
Yes,
is the best one of the series by leaps, bounds, everything else.
In what? So, as a Batman movie, or as a movie, or as a what?
As both, as a Batman movie and as a movie.
No, I was enjoying.
Okay, so Dark Knight has got one of the best openings of modern cinema.
Yes, it has.
The Dark Knight is either two films that are too short, or it's one film that's way too long.
For cinema, but for home now,
watching
it on Blu-ray now.
Absolutely.
Really?
It's amazing at home Blu-ray. You could cinema potentially, but now to be able to watch it like that as it is now is amazing.
I can't believe this. Me and Kurt are agreeing on a lot.
I will give you the one example that made me turn off that film instantly halfway through watching it. Okay. So you get to a certain point in the film, and spoilers for those who've not watched it. And frankly,
it's been 10 years.
This is past like that statute of limitations.
Yeah.
So you get to a point where they kill off Jim Gordon, and you go through and you have the slow motion, and you have the kind of the ceremony that's kind of memorializing him, and it although instinctively you know that something probably hasn't happened, it's trying to get that emotional reaction from you.
And the first time I watched it in cinema, it had it.
Yeah.
So it pushes that. Then, about 20 minutes later, it kills off Rachel Dawes.
Yes.
Had that build, if you had that reaction, you do not get to go, oh, that didn't happen. But this did. That doesn't work as any kind of emotional way of the film.
Okay, so I would agree in a clinical dissecting fashion. Then, if you're doing film class and you're analysing scripts as a kind of analytical fashion, in principle, I agree with you. But as an experience of watching it, it's still an amazing film. It still works through. It does go a bit long, and you could shorten that down. And the third act is almost in two parts, which is too much to an extent. But I still enjoy it.
To me, had the problem of I was never quite sure if they'd killed off Two-Face. Even walking out the cinema, I was like,
"You're not supposed to be sure, though. That's the point. You're not supposed to know."
It was,
you're not supposed to know. That's the point.
It didn't give me any kind of. I don't know. There was. It almost felt like by the end there was no emotional center to the film.
But that's weird because I just saw her character. It wasn't that great, and I just saw it as the inevitable Two-Face, introduction, basically. So
it didn't help that they had to recast her as well. Maggie Gyllenhaal is a great actress.
She is.
Yeah.
But she's better than yes,
okay,
true.
Yeah, she's better than Katie Holmes, but recasting it was just awkward to do.
Who recast? Why did they recast it?
Which, I don't know. Kitty Hobbs had other commitments, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't available, something like that.
Right. So the interesting debate there is that from a film class point of view, that would be the kind of conversation.
Yeah.
But the conversation also in film class, when you start looking at what is the best movie script from a film class point of view, is the one that breaks every single rule all the time, all the way through, and that's Chinatown. Chinatown breaks every single rule going. It engages you and it drops you, and it engages you and drops you, and it does all kinds of things that it shouldn't do, and it's the most amazing movie ever. And its screenplay is heralded now as one of the finest screenplays ever written, and it doesn't follow any of the contemporary things that's supposed to work. It's amazing, and I would argue that Batman Dark Knight sits in a similar. Doesn't have. I wouldn't hold it up next to Chinatown in the same level of screenplay, but I would say that it breaks rules, but gets away with it in a similar way.
I'd say that the intro heist is probably the best.
That is very well shot.
It is the best opening of in cinema. I would argue of the last 12 years. It's just so good.
It's atmospheric.
What is better than that in modern cinema? You put it on now, and you still go. You try and ignore it, and you can't.
It's witty. It's just all the characters are amazing. They don't feel like bit characters. They feel like rooted criminals that like are being played by a genius, basically, and they don't even know it, and they don't even know that they're their own worst enemies, basically, and like he's just like an agent of chaos. And
one thing I would say, if you're looking for the quality parts of the film, a lot of it goes to the wrong place. A lot of it goes to Heath Ledger, who wasn't even the best villain in the film. It was Aaron Eckhart. He is the best performance in that film.
I'm not sure I agree. No, I'm not sure. I do like Aaron Eckhart. He's very, very good.
Thank You for Smoking was an excellent film.
Oh no, he's a very good actor as well. And I would argue that historically his back catalogue is better than Heath Ledger's. But Heath Ledger's done a lot more underground B movies that are very, very good. But so they're both very, very good actors. And Aaron Eckhart's done some amazing films across the board. But I think in that film, Heath Ledger did something very bold and very brave and very amazing with Joker that I thought was fantastic. Because how do you follow the previous incarnations and not do something completely different?
You actually can't. You have to do something different.
Which is why I don't hate Jared Leto, but also do love Jared Leto in general. So
really, I mean,
yeah,
okay. Really. I don't know him from much apart from like American Psycho and
one of my favorite actors.
Even there, spoilers, he gets axed. You know, it's
but doesn't.
But what was I going to say? Batman Ninja. I watched that recently.
That's good, isn't it?
I liked amazing.
I liked Gotham by Gaslight as well. That's really good.
I haven't seen that yet.
I've got that to watch. Yeah,
I've got the book. It's very close to the book. I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be completely different. It's very close to the book.
It didn't have to be different though, because the book's quite good.
The street urchins. I don't think the street urchins in the book. I don't remember them being in the book.
I can't remember.
There's 3 street urchins. I will shut up because I spoiled it, but they're so cool. Wait for the street urchins. They're really good.
Okay.
I will say the most recent one I've watched is Batman and Harley Quinn.
I haven't watched it yet.
But wasn't
a lot, but
wasn't Batman Ninja just everything you ever wanted?
So I started it, and I keep meaning to go back to it. So I started it. I watched Gotham by Gaslight instead, but I do want to go back to it. It does look really good. I watched the start. I was like, yeah, I want to watch this.
It goes a bit anime crazy, but like
I can forgive it that.
Something entitled Batman Ninja.
I
didn't expect. Oh, I can't spoil it because you haven't seen.
Yeah, we can't. We've all seen different films. It's all good. Yes.
Yeah.
The Batman animations have come a very long way recently. I like Bad Blood. I like Batman vs. Robin. There's a lot, like a series now that have followed on that are really good.
Oh, and it's beautiful as well. Like the animation, like how the skyline looks like a Japanese like painting or like from the period, like from medieval Japan. It's just
it's very well done.
Oh, it's amazing. Anyway,
I shall make some time to watch it at some point.
So welcome to Elite Movie Cadre.
I'm painting something. What do you want?
I'm playing video games. What else do they want? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's fine.
Well, should we maybe have a quick discussion of what we're going to discuss? Because I've got a tournament to talk about and X-Wing Mark II.
Yeah, that's a good one to talk about. X-Wing Mark II, because you were a proponent of that on our little chat. We should do more of that. Yep. Because you could educate us. We could be the hoi polloi and you could educate us.
Yeah. Benj, you got anything?
I mean, I like the concept art of the Menos stuff.
Brilliant.
And it seems playable. I don't know about the Warcaster, apart from bust exemplars.
We could definitely talk about some... we could touch on War Machine and new stuff and changes there. I think definitely, because I'm intrigued by...
it doesn't have to be a big...
Tell you what, I've got the Warcaster up here. We can do a quick run-through of it.
Okay, thank you.
And I quite like, without going into too much detail, I do like the... I can't remember the called. Brain's gone. Too much stuff.
Crucible Guard?
Yes. Crucible Guard.
Yeah.
I think I might have to break up my wallet there and put some 40k on hold for that.
It's pretty expensive.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
X-Wing's going up in price as well.
That I'm not bothered. That I'm less bothered about. I can't see me buying that. I have a lot of it. It's in the loft. It's looking pretty in the loft.
Yeah. Per ship, it's going up. I think it's $5 in the States.
That's like 10 quid here.
Bloody hell.
So, and there are people going, oh, I have to buy 2 of every single conversion kit, and I've got to buy a core set as well. That's going to set me back $300. It's like,
when you first mentioned conversion kit, and from what I'd read, I didn't know that they'd be changing the cards and everything. I just imagine like, them changing the ship holders.
The whole concept's changed. I watched the videos.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
Okay.
So you going to start?
Hello, and welcome to Elite Cadre, oh god, interrupted again. Yay. Elite Cadre, the
Alex.
podcast that sometimes discusses wargaming, but mostly seems to be a preamble about movies with Kurt.
Hello.
There's Kurt. Is there a bench?
Yeah, there's yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
There's no Alex yet, but we should have Alex back soon.
Really?
Yes.
I was not aware.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is he at the Welsh?
I don't think he's that back.
I don't know.
Why not? Aren't you his mother?
No. Oh god, no.
What day is the Welsh?
It's a Saturday.
Thanks.
No,
The
this
whole weekend, Benj.
apparently right. So we usually get there on a Friday and nothing happens, but apparently this is happening on a Friday.
Which weekend is the Welsh?
It's the 19th, 20th, some things.
Yes, it's the 19th. It's a week this Saturday.
I might come up for the day on Saturday.
Oh, I'll say hello.
That might be a laugh.
Yeah.
So,
Let's do that.
What, me saying hello? It's not that funny.
No, I'm not going to say hello to you. You can say hello.
Okay,
Anyway,
that's fine.
I'll say hello to you now. Hello.
Hello.
Anyway, podcast. What?
that's your quick announcement. If you're not aware of it yet, the Welsh Masters will be on the 19th and 20th of
May.
This
It
year.
may be.
Yes.
I wasn't aware of it until like a week ago.
Well, there you go.
I know.
Tickets available from Firestorm if you still want to go.
Is there still tickets?
No, they're not. No, they're not.
That's a lie. There were only 7 like a couple of months ago.
I thought there were still a couple left. I know at least
They went
one
off
person
sale. I
dropped
thought
it
did
fairly
they got off sale. I thought.
Okay. Well, you might be able to go on the waiting list then. Happy?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
never,
but
I'm
happy
never
that-
happy.
Benj
true,
and
sir.
I will be there judging away. Maybe not the rules. We'll be judging you.
Yeah.
So.
We'll be judging
So
you
harsh.
and each other's movie choices because that's what we do nowadays.
You like what?
You really like that movie?
I remember Benj looking through my Google Play selection and going, "Oh, this is always a bit pedestrian, isn't it?" Ugh.
It was pretty pedestrian, to be honest. It's got better from what I've heard.
With
So
your
hang on, wait a
notes
minute. So
yeah.
are we gonna have a conversation in person that's a bit like High Fidelity, but about movies?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm
Yeah.
going to be really annoying like Jack Black is in every movie he's ever been in.
So it's so weird that I wasn't thinking that at all. Obviously. Moving on.
Okay.
Yes, good work.
Yes, quite.
What hot?
Well, since the last podcast, which was some time ago, I forget these days.
1862.
Yeah, I went to a tournament.
Holy
Jesus.
shit!
Yes, Oh,
What's one of those then?
So was this a War Machine tournament, or was it just?
Well, surprisingly, yes. If I turned it with War
you could
Machine
play
models
whatever you
and
wanted.
X-Wing, I think I'd have got kicked out pretty quickly.
Ben, you could just turn it with whatever you wanted.
Okay.
So
I turned up with some Battlestar Galactica, nobody cared.
I would play in that tournament because
It sounds great, doesn't it?
the time I got fucking brigged in the first turn or whatever the fuck it was, I can't remember now.
Right, that's what. If we ever have an elite Cadre tournament, it should be you can turn up and play with whatever you want versus whatever you want.
I threatened to nuke everything once they put me in a brig. Oh, but you lose your nukes.
Anyway, sorry, Mike. Yes.
I got paranoid playing Battlestar Galactica. I thought everyone was against me. We were playing it the time when I'm banned from playing it now around someone's house. Was there were three of us. There was Matt. I think it was Matt, and my friend who was hosting. I think it was that, and I just got really paranoid. Like,
good. What's the idea?
Someone was a Cylon, and I just couldn't take it because they were both my friends.
I find this in no way surprising.
No, no way. It's very funny.
But the people at work, I'm not too bothered about. I would brig the shit out of them. There was a guy who then decided to take Battlestar Galactica down with him. That was really bad. That was just really bad play.
Well, so he wasn't Asylum, but he was trying to bring that.
Yeah, he brigged me against the advice of like a few people, but again, obviously the Cylon convinced him, and then he decided to basically just go down with a ship against a load of base stars, and it didn't. Oh,
I've spent most of a game in the brig before because I decided to find to kind of pretend to be Asylum when I wasn't one, so I couldn't get spaced, and therefore I spent most of the game in the airlock. That was a bit dull.
Nick actually managed to ruin the first game of Battlestar Galactica I ever played.
Well, by turning up.
Did he tell you how it ended?
That they dealt out the alignment cards.
Yeah.
I picked up mine. It was the Cylon one, and because I looked at it for more than about a quarter of a second, he went Cylon.
Oh, that's horrible.
Well, that doesn't ruin it. You get to go and run the Cylons. You get spaced. You get to join the fleet and do all the Cylon stuff.
So the thing was that no one trusted him, so he got locked in the brig.
That sounds like Nick.
I basically spent the entire game on Colonial 1 and then blew it up.
Excellent.
So, yeah, there you go. That was fun.
I just never trust the Doctor because the guy that always picks the Doctor looks like the Doctor. So
yeah, right, okay.
Well, he's got
long,
yeah, he looks like Gaius. He's got long hair. He flounces around a lot.
The funniest game I ever had was
before we go too far down this Battlestar Galactica rabbit hole. If you want to play Battlestar Galactica, but don't have 12 hours of your life,
you don't have friends,
or the table to keep all those tiny cards on, just buy the Resistance and have the same experience.
What, of paranoia and hatred?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good point.
What's the Resistance?
So the Resistance is a game where essentially you have your group of people and your dealt alignment cards.
Is it a little bit like Shadows of a Camelot?
No. Well,
sorry.
But you're all dealt your alignment cards. And then the game takes place over 5 missions. And basically, you as a group have to choose who's going on the mission.
All right.
Anyone who's loyal must always put a success card in. And anyone who is one of the traitors can choose to fail the mission by putting a failure card in.
Cool.
And the people who are traitors have got to try and get more than half of the 5 missions to fail.
Okay.
And it ends up being this whole thing of, you get a leader and they go, okay, I'm choosing these 3 people to put on a team. And then 2 of the people go, hang on, they're clearly traitors. Okay, but okay, I'll put you on the mission instead. And then you'll vote on that one, and then it gets voted down, and the leadership role has to change. And it's a very simple. It's more on the social side. There's fewer mechanics to it than there are Battlestar Galactica, which is why I kind of prefer it because BSG takes forever.
It does take a while. Especially with expansions.
And especially when you try and line up all the ships on the flight deck properly, and people keep knocking them, and you.
Oh my god, OCD much.
Yeah, totally. They have to be in fucking like herringbone pattern. What?
And then someone decides, no, we're playing a game of Battlestar Galactica with all the expansions we're having.
Yes, that's why I said yes. It's expansions that go on. It's Capricorn. No, anyway, yeah, moving on. Yeah.
So anyway, I went to a tournament.
Pegasus is right. Pegasus expansions are right. Yes, I've stopped now.
Okay, fair enough. Went to a tournament at Milton Keynes. It was very good fun.
Milton Keynes?
War Games Workshop, was it?
Yes, it was. Hosted by, it's Dave Barton, isn't it?
I can't remember.
Cool. Great. It was actually the first time in Mark II I've put the Mercenary Colossals on the table.
You played War Machine? Wow.
Epic Magnus, double Colossal list. It was...
fun.
Interesting. Without getting too battle reporty, because I don't like to do that.
Then he rolled a 6, but then he rolled a 4.
I pulled off what has to be the jankiest assassination I have ever had the misfortune of doing, and it was with my McBain list.
Did you do that to my Calandra? Moving on.
Yeah. Well, this one ended up with sort of like, okay, I need to move these 2 eliminators here and stab Siege a bit, and no, that's not done anything. Okay, now my Kayazi assassins have to take out the gobbers you've put in the screen in front of him. Okay, now Acosta charges Siege. Oh, he's still not dead. This is after I've black oiled one of my own eliminators to get Siege, because if I aim at Siege and hit, he can shield guard it off.
That's a good job hitting your own eliminators. They're not easy to do.
No, it didn't hit them. It scattered off them, but it scattered just enough to still clip.
I like that. That's good.
It ended up like I'd activated almost every model I had and went, wait, no. So this Mangler, it's got no Cortex, but it runs for free? Okay, so I run that 10 inches. It's still 2 inches short. Okay, McBain activates. Energizer moves another 2 inches. Jackhammer your caster to death? It was a lot of moving parts to get there, and it's like, I am sorry for what I've just done. But it was a good way to end the day.
Did you theory it out with like loads of rulers?
Oh yeah, lots of templates. You have 26 templates on it. I'll put the jack here. Put that there.
I just played.
Why have I got no clock? Why is my clock gone? Moving on.
Yeah. Seen that more than once. But yeah, I thoroughly encourage anyone who's in that area who's looking for tournaments to look at War Games Workshop, because it was a nice venue actually. The only downside was reminding me of why I no longer play TCGs. Because in the middle were a bank of people playing the Final Fantasy TCG. And halfway through one of the games, one of them just broke out in the biggest hissy fit
my god!
Ever heard over any game.
Oh, come on. Recount the story. This could be gold.
I don't even know the story of what was going on. Just someone there going, I can't play if you keep distracting me like this. Like,
okay.
Wow.
And it was a proper kind of blowing the lid off, almost flipping the table.
Did he have nice hair?
Did he have a squall sword and was like half hanging off the... It is Squall with a giant sword, isn't it? I can't remember.
Don't know. No clue what you're talking about.
Cloud.
Oh, Cloud. Sorry, whatever. Who's the other one?
Squall's the one with the gun sword.
Oh, yeah. With the scar on the face and the emo friends. Yeah.
They're all emo. Have you
looked
at that game?
Yeah. Anyway, with regards to JRPGs, I'm looking forward to Valkyria Chronicles 4. Just putting that out there. It's coming out on the Switch as well, if you're one of those people.
Buying the portable version?
No. Why would I own a Switch?
Because it's got some really good games on it.
That you can't get on like every other frigging console already?
Yeah.
Like what?
Some Zelda game, I expect.
Oh, I'm too old to get into Zelda. I was never like a Zelda person at the beginning, so...
Oh, okay, I was a Zelda person.
So what you're saying is, Benj, that you can't appreciate good games?
Oh, that's literally apparently what I'm saying, because, yeah.
Good to know. Good.
Yeah, I play terrible games.
Good basis for footage comparison.
Hearthstone, so yes, that backs that up immensely.
I play, Call of Duty, Hearthstone,
Call of Duty, you casual.
Well, I used to play Call of Duty. I haven't played a decent Call of Duty in fucking ages.
You casual? Is that really an insult?
I play Rainbow Six Siege at the moment. I am a sweaty casual there, definitely. Yeah, super sweaty.
I'm looking forward to the day I get called a casual.
Really?
I haven't played anything on anything other than my phone or a tabletop in absolutely years.
I got told off for calling people casuals at work.
I'm not surprised. You were talking about people's work ethic, weren't you?
No, I was literally people were talking about like they were like quaintly talking about some board games they were playing at the local cafe, and it was like fucking.
They're allowed to do that. They're allowed to do that.
No,
That's
it was
gateway stuff.
Monopoly and shit like that.
Oh no, unless it's Star Wars Monopoly.
Gaming cafe. It's just like you casuals, you absolute filthy casuals.
Commit or nothing.
Yeah, fucking play like Caverna or fucking.
You're gonna play all day Settlers, then you just get out.
Yeah, if you're fucking playing Catan, get the fuck out.
What's that all day sci-fi game that goes on forever and you can barely do it in a whole long weekend?
Twilight Imperium.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I really hate Agricola. I've talked about that before though. Still really fucking hate Agricola.
I've never actually played it. It looks right.
Complex thing.
It's not massively complex. You just have to be like choose a win condition and pile on it. There's a.
I quite like Carcassonne. I've only ever played kids Carcassonne recently, but I used to play Carcassonne quite a lot.
Carcassonne's good.
And if anyone says, "Oh, Dominion's really good," I'll fucking punch them.
And if it's got Tank Police after it.
It's a fun game, and also yes, Dominion Tank Police also brilliant.
Dominion Tank Police. Can we just talk about Dominion Tank Police after this?
Notice the level of anime conversation that I can join in. If it's 20 years ago, I'm all over it.
Sci-Fi Channel, yeah.
Oh, well, then I should have mentioned to you that they were doing a Gunsmith Cats reissue. So you know.
Jesus.
Battle Angel Alita, I'm quite looking for. I haven't watched that yet. I need to watch that because
the trailer looked brilliant.
It does. I like
the
early stuff. Yeah. We've digressed quite massively there, haven't we?
There's normal humans and then Alita, who's got the big anime eyes.
Yeah, giant. Oh, yeah. But it isn't. It's fine. Just deal with it. It's fine. Deal with it.
It's weird.
It's all right. It's fine.
It's still weird.
It's fine.
Yeah. So you went to a club tournament, yes, and you won. I heard.
Did you talk to people? What are people like? I don't know what people like.
People seem to be okay. You know, they're outside of the house.
Do they like the game? Do people like the game anymore, or are we in a phase of hating it?
I will say that at that time, people seem to be relatively positive about.
I'm suddenly feeling like Douglas Adams wrote this podcast.
I will actually say, before I went to the tournament, because of something that we'll talk about later.
You were going to sell your army on eBay?
In the relaunch of X-Wing, I was genuinely considering just, this is it, I'm done. You know, finish with War Machine, shut up shop, and move on.
But you'll never get your money back for it.
Oh, God, no. No, I don't expect to get my money back for it.
I've got a circle army that I'd like some money for, but that's hard enough. That seems to be very difficult at the moment.
Benj, if I was in this for the money, well, actually, no, I wouldn't be.
But
even having a shop that sells this stuff, you're not going to get anything back.
Was the shop actually selling stuff? By the way, is it still like that's a serious question because I don't really know where to.
I didn't actually go into the shop itself.
Okay, that's where I first bought War Machine from.
Well stocked, so
that's where I first bought War Machine was from, Carl.
Yeah. It's because I want to see what it's like at the Welsh, actually, if I can get hold of maybe even just a few bits, though.
Oh, no, you're right. If I go there, there's stuff to buy. Shit.
Oh, there won't be as much, because I think the line has dwindled somewhat. But...
Well, it's other things that's more the worry, but yes.
They are intentionally pulling SKUs, as we've talked about before.
Yeah. But what about new release? Oh, you didn't go in the shop, so you're fucking... not going to be helpful, are you?
No, I'm not helpful ever. Why would I be helpful?
Don't know. You were known as Mike the Helpful One at one point, I swear.
Yeah, that's just...
It's just weird, though, because you were known as Ben's the Happy, weren't you?
Yeah, that's true. You looked the most well-adjusted.
Jovial, even. Jovial.
Yeah, you used to... you know. Yeah, let me enter your score for you. You have 18 skulls. Would you like to?
We don't
wake up, get your head off the desk.
Tick off.
What can you get for 20 skulls?
More dice.
Going back, in general, people seemed relatively happy with everything that was going on at the moment. There wasn't anything there that was kind of talked about in the sense of, someone's taken this, it's an utterly unfair army. It just seemed to be a lot of people having a good fun day out.
Fuck.
Wait. This was War Machine.
Yeah, is this War Machine? Someone didn't get salty and start like working out the averages of an assassination, or like?
No, Kevin Brown wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
See what
I'm
I did?
saying I'm not playing against Siege. Wait, moving on.
To be fair, I did get minorly salty when Siege turned up in the last round because like, oh god, it's Signar. This is my weakness.
Wait, how did you do at the tournament? By the way, did you power game your way to success?
No, I went 2-2.
Oh, decidedly average.
That's respectable score. That's respectable.
Thoroughly average. It might have been 3-1 had I in the first game actually remembered to move McBain after his feet.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of left him for the Legion shooting army, not near his 2 shield guards, which really was the best tactical position to put him in.
No.
Yeah, that went about as well as can be expected. So that was nice. Played
For your opponent.
Taylor's Trolls. And that was one of the messiest games I have ever played because.
Dad, my question: did you play anybody that we know?
Ooh.
No, it's been serious.
Like I said, Jay Taylor.
Oh, it was Jay Taylor. Sorry, yeah.
What? Jay Taylor was there?
Yeah.
I misheard you, and I was
Nick
taking the
Roberts
piss.
was there.
What?
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 What army was he playing?
He's playing Circle, I think.
Bloody hell!
Bloody hell! Have we gone back to
What decade is
2000
this?
and
What's
something?
happened? Yeah.
He's got hair color as well, so I think he's at reverse aging. He's doing a full bend.
Oh, see.
What?
Did
He's got no hair.
Did his hair look dry brushed?
Hair color, you fool.
Oh, I thought you meant he's gone like.
Did his hair look dry brushed? Hi, Nick. Love you. Not that you're listening. You wouldn't listen to us anyway, would you?
No one listens.
Somebody would tell you that we derided you. I derided you on the show.
There are at least 2 people listening. God knows what they're listening for, but
Are you sure one of them isn't you?
I'm very sure.
One of them I probably played 40k against on. Let's just get Twitter up on Tuesday.
Is anyone actually chatting in the chat?
No, because it refused to send through
Okay.
Twitter today for some reason. It just went error. I was like, no, I don't care enough.
Okay.
So
Fair enough. I don't do this to be listened to.
Yeah, that's happy coincidence.
oh, there we go. Byron's listening as well.
Jesus.
Oh, hi, Byron.
Hi, Byron. See you in a week or 6 or however long it is.
10
A
days.
week and a bit, Benj. A week
10
and a bit.
days, Ben.
I'm taking a couple of days off before it happens.
Apparently, Richard.
Apparently, Rich Dean watches our broadcasts out of morbid curiosity and malice.
And malice.
What a combo.
There we go.
Ah. Has he still got perfect? He's got perfect hair.
We haven't really laid into Signar properly though.
He doesn't play Signar anymore, does he?
No, do you know why he doesn't play Sigmar?
Sigmar?
Do you know what? Do you know why he doesn't play them?
Why?
Because I permanently lent him my minions.
Permanently? Isn't that just like he stole your minions?
That's like, here, have these. Stop playing Signar.
Here, have these.
Yeah, he seems to have a lot of fun with them.
He does.
Here, have these. Try life again.
Apparently, he disputes the quality of the Nolan movies. I'll have words with him.
Oh, Jesus. I hope you break some kneecaps and like put him straight.
Or some more Dark Angels, perhaps. Yeah.
Break Dark Angel. What?
Well, that's what he is. I did play against him. But anyway, we'll come on to that later.
Okay, fine. Is this to be continued? What are we talking about now?
Don't know.
I'll be honest. We didn't really have a plan to begin with, so
nothing new there.
What were we going to talk about a couple of weeks ago then? When we were.
God knows.
I can't believe you berated me for my poor organisational skills and then had the audacity to get ill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. I keep a perfect calendar. You know.
I was physically unable to make it from the bed to the chair.
I know, but
massive pain.
I know, but
I do apologise.
You die for your art.
Forethought and not having adequate amounts of painkillers. Put me into some sort of state.
I just love it when, like, I have the least active social calendar, and I can still be conflicted on certain days. It's like
literally all of the ones we want to podcast on.
yeah, well, Wednesday actually, I've kind of like given up on Magic at the moment because I haven't got much of the new set to do anything.
And also,
with.
it's Magic, so, you know.
Oh, stop it with your. Oh, it's just not funny.
It never was, except to me.
Oh, fine, okay. Well, can I find a game that you love and destroy it? Like, moving on to that.
Let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah, X-Wing. Yeah. I didn't destroy it. FFG did. Free.
Well, I thought what we'd actually do is move on to that one thing you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, I like the new Warcaster. Her armor looks cool, and I might buy her.
So I know nothing about what this looks like. All I have is the CID document for High Exemplar Sirenia. Go with that pronunciation.
That sounds good.
Stat line looks a bit Creosy.
I think she's Junior Krios, is what she is.
Speed 5, Strength 6, Mat 8, Rap 4, Def 15, Arm 16, Command 10, Focus 6.
I'll take your word for it. I can't quite see it right now. Yes, that's right.
I literally have it in front of me. So
then I'll vaguely take your word for it.
Feat, one of the models control range, friendly faction models gain +2 def. When one or more friendly faction models are destroyed or removed from play by an enemy attack on Sirenia's control range at any time except while advancing. Immediately after the attack is resolved, one friendly exemplar model in Sirenia's control range can advance up to 3 inches. The model can move only once per turn as real vigilance of the faithful. That's for 1 round. This feat seems very familiar. Isn't this a retribution feat with a +2 death bonus?
Kind of. Yeah, pretty much.
Don't know.
Maybe it is in CID at the moment, so
yeah.
Changed.
This is the second week of CID. It should be pointed
out.
Yes.
But the more interesting stuff was they're trying to balance Harby. That was interesting.
No one cares.
Oh yes, they do, because I actually like Harby.
Well, you said you wanted to go through this bench, so we're going through this.
Good point. All right, we go through.
Let's not have a Harby argument about how much of a crutch she was for too many people when they took it away and everybody's dying.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
I can't move on.
So
you need to move on.
Moving on. Sirenia also has battle plans. So you got Desperate Mission, which is range 5, target friendly living exemplar model. If it's in range, it gains last word. When a model with last word is disabled by an enemy attack at any time except while it's advancing, it can immediately advance up to 3 inches and make 1 basic melee attack. And cannot be targeted by free structure in this movement. That's eerily similar to was it Doors of Judgment or
yeah. I don't know if they stack.
Ugh.
I don't know. Probably not. They couldn't. Last
word is probably on both, but let's Heroic Call, range 5, target friendly living exemplar model unit. If the model is in range, it gains tough. Special Orders, range 5, target friendly living exemplar model unit. If the model's in range, it gains reposition 3.
Nice.
So it seems like nice bits of utility.
Yeah, that's the word.
Righteous Vengeance. If friendly faction warrior models were destroyed or removed from play by enemy attacks while within 5 inches of this model in the last round, during your maintenance phase, you can advance up to 3 inches and make 1 basic melee attack. So basically, vengeance, but for other people. Spell list, dash, hex blast, inviolable resolve, positive charge, and rock wall. Huh.
Oh yeah,
that seems quite nifty.
Well, it doesn't exist. They've really cut down when they renewed everything. They removed most of them, didn't they?
Yeah. That's. I mean, Focus 6.
Yeah.
But inviolable resolve, which is pretty good upkeep. That'll go well on exemplars.
Always used to.
Yep. You've got positive charge, which if you're having problems hitting with Mouth Jacks, that'll do it.
Or if you forgot your choir.
Sore
point, Kurt.
Oh, you forgot Mark II choir, but you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
Mark II choir are long gone.
Oh no, I really missed that hitting buff. You know.
Yeah. Good utility with Hex Blast. Dash.
I like Dash.
Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parry and +1 speed. Yeah. Exemplars will benefit from that. And Rockwall, which is okay. Wasn't expecting that in Menoth. Interesting.
Then they get a big church, don't they? Which brings back models with a soul mechanic.
Does.
There's a Cinerator Officer, which will just make Cinerators better.
A bit like they used to be, really.
Well, no, because you're thinking of Bastions, and they're still garbage, even with a points deduction. They're still fucked. Unless they've added something in week 2, because I think they were going to see what a series of buffs might do to them. But
They added defensive line.
didn't they have that already?
I
That's
don't know.
sanguine bonds.
It's marked in green.
Oh, okay, that might be second week then.
So defensive line, defensive strike, and sanguine bond.
Def silly.
Def 11 up to 13.
Yeah.
So if you get defenders ward on them up to 50.
But they have 5 boxes.
And I'm sorry, but 15, 18 is nothing to laugh at.
Still 5 boxes.
And
I miss 8.
Well, you have to get over that because you're not going to get 8 back.
I know, fucking trolls.
Even trolls have got very little 8.
Alright, fine. Fucking Cadre then. They're all 8. Apparently Cadre are the bane of everything at the moment, so...
yeah, literally the worst, apparently.
I don't know how true that is. Is that true? Were they at the tournament? Did they...
Didn't see any Cadre.
Okay. Well,
I hadn't heard that about Cadre, but my ears not around.
At some point.
Are they supposed to be the leading faction of late? Are they? I have no idea.
I don't know. I think they were in a pretty good position at the end of the CID, basically, and apparently.
Yeah, but Cadre players were complaining because all their cheap jacks had got a point more expensive.
Yeah, I did hear that.
That's a shame.
But now their berserkers can hit, so you know, swings and roundabouts.
Pretty much. They haven't got anything to complain about, really. Their faction's in a good place.
Yeah. Most factions, in some way, shape, or form, are in a decent place.
I thought Circle were in the 7th layer of hell. Or...
That's Circle players, though.
No one plays Circle.
I know, but they swing from like
I can't sell my Circle for love nor money.
dizzy highs to fucking terrible lows. So
seems about right.
It does.
I'm just looking at the Menoth structure. Shrine of the Lawgiver, Command 12.
Actually, no, Legion are worse than that because they have collective like fucking Kool-Aid pies where they all nearly top themselves.
I see now. Every time I play against Legion, it seems like their stuff is doing pretty well.
Yeah, it seems that way to me too.
It just doesn't do. I just think they think it doesn't do as well as it used to. But
so I think they've got the same sort of problem as certain Menoth players, where there were really strong techniques and mechanisms in Menoth in Mark II that have gone, and they've just gone and they've gone, and Legion was the leading faction in a lot of Mark II, and I think they've got a similar problem.
Well, it was up there in that sort of Crix Legion add another faction to taste section.
For different reasons. I mean, Menoth was just the army of deny. No, you can't. So it was, yeah.
And
a lot of that's gone.
Really reined that back in.
They have, which is good.
I mean, the big change to Harvey, because she used to have the 20-inch feet.
Yeah.
Was that they
That's
changed
big
the
feet.
command.
Get out.
And that's coming from me.
Yeah.
Get out.
No, she used to have the 20-inch control area to feet with, but then they changed the feet to her command radius, and now they've changed her command to 12.
Yes.
So, does that put her in a better kind of place for you, Benj?
It does put her in a slightly better place. I won't complain as much if I ever play the game again.
Will.
Oh, what? They also increased her jack points, didn't they? Didn't you say that? Or...
She's on 28 jack points.
yeah,
You'll be happy to. You put her down, the other person just concedes.
I mean, that was the play back in the day. You know, charge your own exemplar, feat. You know, bring it back if you kill it, and yeah, just
I'm
make.
so glad you can't charge your own stuff anymore.
I'm not. It sounds silly.
Oh.
That whole thing of what was it? Kane 2 charges his own gun mage and teleports out.
Yep.
Was just the dumbest thing.
What's wrong with cheese? Most games seem to have some sort of cheese in it.
Everything has an abusable rule somewhere, but it's the point where that rule stretches logic to breaking point.
The interesting thing,
I can genuinely imagine someone like Kovnik Joe taking aim behind the Winter Guard and shooting one of his own guys down so that Sorsha can get through. That's kind of believable. But I can't imagine Signar doing the same thing.
No, Signar I could, but not Kane, who's been busted down for defending his own troops in fluff.
True.
So Kane, less so. You could argue some of them, and you could argue Haley, all kinds of stuff. But it's interesting that now we're getting this evolution of rules across the board in multiple systems. Things like, even within 40k, the 8th came in, and flyers, aircraft came in a big way. So they put a rule in. Even before any of the bigger races came in, they put a rule in. Boots on the ground. Flyers cannot hold objectives. The end. If the only thing you've got left is flyers, you lost. That was it. That was a very small change. And loads of people have bought tons of flyers. Went, what? Oh. And it's happening to more and more games. And while I find it harder to follow War Machine, I don't know. At the moment, I'm feeling like I'm starting to get over it. Because I'm starting to realise that I can't learn everything, so stop trying.
Yeah. A War Machine has moved so far beyond the point where you can adequately learn every single thing. Just play what's in front of you.
Play it.
Aren't the games therefore slower then?
I was playing 55-minute Death Clock, which seemed like forever. Because I'm used to 50-minute Death Clock. So having that extra 5 minutes per player and just sat there going, God, I've got like 15 minutes left. What's going on?
I mean, do any of the theme lists? I mean, plain theme list. Surely it does what it says on the tin, so that cuts down the kind of mental brain farting a little bit.
It cuts down the list building brain
farting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, that there are so many theme forces, and there's several ways you can build each one.
Because they're not the focus. They're not the focus things that they were.
Yeah, it is like I can build irregulars one way, someone else can build it totally the other. In fact, both my lists were in irregulars for mercenaries, and almost completely different.
Was there much Grimkin there, by the way?
Didn't see any.
Oh, that sounded like a good tournament.
Yeah, it does. I hate them.
No one likes playing against Grimkin.
Because you can't learn the rules, and when you just go, this game, I'm going to do this. You didn't see this coming. You're all dead.
Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of like it's the gotcha of Mark II. But
see, I would say I like playing against Convergence less.
Well,
Grimkin are not great. Don't get me wrong, because of that whole, you've done something, now I'm going to punish you.
You've activated my trap card.
By deploying your stuff.
You're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! With Model. But no, if you're playing against Convergence, I still look across the table and go, I'm sorry, I don't know what any of your stuff does, so I'm just going to try and kill it.
And what happens if your opponent pulled out an Ann Summers dildo catalogue? You probably get the same effect. Of knowing exactly what they're kind of going to do to you, i.e. fuck you, but not exactly how they're going to fuck you. They're going to be in the arms.
I will say that their battle engine is still one of those things I see on the table and just go, oh God, not again.
It's very pretty, but I've got no idea what it does. Yes.
Yeah, the battle engine is really, really simple.
Sprays for days.
Either it's going to take a couple of sprays that are really stupidly powerful, or it's going to take lots and lots of sprays that can just take out troops.
Okay.
Basically, it gets to reconfigure every turn, just where it wants its dice, whether it wants them on hit to damage, or whether it wants extra shots instead.
And it poops out little drones
every turn. Yeah, and you can kill the drones that are giving it the bonus dice, but they just come back at the start of the turn. So why bother?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds so much fun.
It is soul destroyingly.
I'm just gonna get away from the whole kind of I think there's a different mentality of playing this game than I used to. I'm just gonna go with it.
How are you gonna do it though if you come across that?
Not care.
What? Just concede? Like
no,
just
play the game, but not
engage.
I'm finding that 40k is fun now, whether I win or lose, regardless. So I need to find that mentality in War Machine. And I said this before on here, I think, and I haven't succeeded yet. I'm going to push forward and try.
How are you going to try? Because I'm genuinely interested.
Because I found it in 40k. I get to a certain point where the game is fun, and the winning and losing is not relevant.
I think that also depends on your opponent, because if your opponent is like dead set on like fucking you in the ass,
the scene, quote unquote, is not what it was anyway. So I don't know. Is the War Machine community, competitive community? Well, I like to do that much anyway. Still playing like that, or is it generally playing more?
I think that the competitive scene has. Well, the people in it have changed.
Yes, the younger for a start, I've noticed.
I will be honest, I don't play enough of the big tournaments to know like the playing mentality. I do know the small tournaments I've been to, there is less of the super serious, I'm going to crush you at all costs.
Yeah.
Not that I found a lot of that previously anyway, but there were some like notable figures who would bring that along with them.
I've had really good fun games against some of those lists and some of those players in the past.
Yeah.
I mean,
competitive, York-based players. I've had good fun playing them.
That's fine. I see those games happening at the other end of the tournament as I'm stuck with the Grimkin fucking player. That's fine. It all depends on the draw as well, of who you get.
Yeah,
alcohol helps as well. Let's be honest.
Oh well, how many tournaments are you going to find? Casual tournaments where you can get absolutely blasted. I mean, this isn't UK fucking
Expo.
Yeah, where you can just
UK Games Expo. I'm drunk by halfway through and still winning.
And winning like a champ.
What the hell was that?
You should have just got more drunk.
I
I'm
did.
still so glad I'm not running UK Games Expo.
It's not even doing it anymore.
No. And there are many reasons. Anyone who wants to ask Pete Buxton why there is no Cerberus presence at UK Games Expo, please feel free, because it's a funny story.
Oh, okay. Where's my Facebook Messenger?
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
One I'm not going to spread, but it's a good one.
They're just incompetent, and they're still incompetent, and
I personally do not get along with the way that UK Games Expo is managed. I think it is a very fun event to attend, and I am very glad that it exists. But I am in constant amazement every single year that it still manages to run, having been in contact with the people who do run it.
Yeah, because if you give them clipboards, these people become fucking bureaucratic nightmares.
No, it's not that.
Well, that was a fucking...
I'm not going to discuss the whole thing in public, but...
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking from my own experience at the same time of helping supervise that tournament as well.
Yeah.
So... And actually going on the shop floor, seeing the amount of special favors for people and fucking mismanagement of shit. It was just.
I will say,
on a more positive sense, I discovered Battleship at that event, so I can't praise it high enough.
Okay.
I will say, having now seen the costs, because for some reason they let their exhibitor booklet get out into the wild, seen the costs for everything at that event, boy, they've got to be making a mint.
Really? Oh Jesus! How did that get out?
I don't know. They released their exhibitor book to the public.
Oh.
I have no idea why. I know that I have a copy, and it's frankly insane. Um,
It's a different beast anyway than what it used to be.
yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Well, the
I
Expo,
remember the Hagley Road days. Oh.
if the last time you went to the Games Expo was at the Clarendon Suites, it's nothing like it now. This year we're taking up NEC halls 1 and 2, with further seminar rooms and other stuff sort of scattered about the NEC, and also another space for performances and RPGs that's over in the Hilton. So yeah, it's a hell of a big event.
I used to enjoy it down in the Clarendon Suites. It was fun.
I've got the Friday booked off to go to it, so I can do my shopping in peace.
I was going to go, but it's a bit expensive now, cons and stuff. So.
Yeah, I looked at how much it cost me the other day, and that was not cheap.
I also got a bit bored of every stall just selling a slightly more expensive copy of the last game. You know,
they all had that one copy of Scythe that seemed to like just accompany you round the event, gaining £5 at every store.
Yeah, literally, it was just like, oh, that was ridiculous.
I mean, I will say, if you do go there for the big like headline board games, dump on.
Yeah, if you love that shit.
But if you want to go there for the bring and buy to really raid through whatever's in there, if you want to go there for like the smaller manufacturers and see what they can do, I thoroughly recommend, if you're there, going to Board Game Guru's stall, because they carry some really like offbeat stuff that's kind of different and neat.
Sure.
And it's a great place to get demos as well.
On offbeat board games, I was rather chuffed to, not quite the last minute, but to have backed Awful Orphanage.
Oh, okay, talk to us.
It's a very small British horror board game where I can't remember the name of it.
Cthulhu's involved.
No, it's a woman, a woman, lady, lures street urchins into her orphanage to be looked after and cared for, and then once the orphanage is full, she unleashes the tall, gaunt and sinister man, who then basically tries to devour them and eat their souls. And you basically play one of the orphanages, the orphans, between you play orphans, trying to escape her, gather clues and gather bits and pieces, and escape. But it's semi-collaborative, which is quite fun.
Oh, those half-house games where you're like, I'm kind of working with you, but I'm not, and I could like... Oh,
yeah, sounds great.
From what I read of it, there is the opportunity to shift it to be fully collaborative or keep it. They've added
it in, so you've even got collaborative cards that can pass things to each other.
Yeah.
But if you search too much, you end up flipping over a porter or whatever it's called, who will take away everything you've gained and throw you back in your room. And the board builds itself randomly each time you play. So I quite like the bits and pieces of that. It sounds like fun.
The last board game I think I played was that Haunted House one. That's semi-cooperative, isn't it? The one where you're all
House on the Hill.
Yeah.
House on the Hill.
Yeah.
That is a. I've played that 3 or 4 times.
Mm.
I do enjoy it. The only problem is that some of the missions are not well edited.
Well, I ended up being...
We had one which was very much a sort of Saw kind of rip-off thing, and we realised halfway through reading the rules that it was actually unplayable. And we had to go on Board Game Geek, where the author of the original mission had gone, right, what I sent over is not what got printed, so here's the rules for it.
Oh, wow.
Follow these, not what's in the book.
Well, we played the one where it ended up basically I had to blow up the fucking house. I ended up being the bad guy in about 5 seconds through some shitty rolls. And I just got in the basement and blew it up, and it was just the most anticlimactic game ever, and everyone got angry at me. Because I won. I don't ever... most of these board games I don't really care, but it seems whenever there has to be the big bad, it's always me, and I always get persecuted for winning in horrible ways. So.
Okay.
But that's a semi-cooperative game, isn't it? That's and it's
It depends, Benj, because you can have fully cooperative, you can have semi-cooperative, you can have
So the
themselves.
Awful Orphanage is kind of initially was semi-cooperative, and they've added in fully cooperative if you want to avoid the stab each other in the back and just run for it element. If you want to get rid of that, it's cheap as well. It's like 45 quid. So
and
quite.
Isn't the boss just Slender Man by the sounds of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. It's not. It's semi-horror, but horror light, and I'm confident we can play it with the children when that's scaring the hell out of them.
Oh, why don't you terrify them? Give them,
Because I'm responsible for the consequences.
But the real world is a horrible place anyway, and so just exposing.
Well, that's what we're working up to that. I play Zombicide with them. I'm educating them. What do you want?
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, it's fine. Zombie apocalypse. That's fine.
Look, Benj, there's no need to inflict your negative worldview on everyone else, Benj.
Why not? Because my negative worldview is amazing. I've decided everybody should be exposed to my negative worldview.
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
On more ludicrously commercial, I did get very sucked into the latest Kickstarter for Zombicide as well.
Yeah, but
I'm sure you both hate, but I love it.
Yeah, but that's like a guaranteed kind of thing, like waking up and seeing the sky every day. And like.
Oh, look, there's a Zombicide Kickstarter.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm sure Kurt has not already spent the full maximum bid to get everything.
I didn't quite go maximum. I restrained myself, but yes.
I haven't got every exclusive. I'm missing one. What is it?
I've not quite got the signed edition, but...
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get the expansion. I went for the second different, like, basic game, because then combines together, because I rationalised that the expansion will be in retail when the whole lot comes out, so I'll just buy it later. And I only missed out on 3 exclusive models. And I'm like, right, value is in buying the other one of those, not that. Right.
That game saw you coming like a mile away, like a big fat pigeon with money in its hand.
Black Plague is we've probably had the best value out of Black Plague of any board game in the house.
Oh, that's so funny because my friend bought Black Plague. We played it once, and we all got 2 characters except him, who was sharing one. And then he got really angry when we started making decisions, basically, because we had 2 characters and we wanted to win. And, like, he was stuck in a room full of, like, and didn't want to move because he was going to die. And, oh, yeah, that was fun. That was fun. We never played that
You have to work together, though. You have to work together.
Well, we tried that, but when one person wants to lead and, like, the other ones are not so sure about that, it kind of ends up getting a bit messy. And decisions kind of get made for you because the zombies are coming.
Okay. I find it an enjoyable game to play a lot.
I must play with the wrong people because
every time you talk about your gaming group, it's like
it sounds such delightful
playing with hateful people, or it might be you.
It might be me. I'm not. But what I'm doing is I'm actually blending a couple of groups together, and one of them is like a happy-go-lucky, carefree one that I just that I destroy basically with my negativity, and the other one is like 3 hyper-competitive gamers. And a guy that
you can't play that competitively because if one person dies, you're all finished.
Exactly. But that's the thing. They all want to be the one leading the charge.
Having said that, it's different if it's all of you ganging up on the youngest.
Yeah.
So when that happens, if you sacrifice your nephew, that's entirely valid.
Okay, it's fine.
Let's leave James to die. He's wandered off and not listening and doesn't want to play anymore. Let's leave him to die. The zombies will go there. We get out. But as long as we get out before he dies, we'll win.
This reminds me of this all started in Dead of Winter? There's the zombie game where you have to go out and do yeah. So we ended up getting a horse, which is one of the conditions basically, and it costs food to look after, and I can't remember what benefits it was. You don't get like exposure moving between points or something. But anyway, it got to a point where we were draining and we were just arguing about the fact that we took the horse. And I was saying, can't we just say we kill the horse for food? But it won't let you do that in the game, obviously. Well, there's no rules for that. But like, because we were going to lose so like horribly, it would have been nice just to give us a chance. And then started this massive like debate about the horse, who got the horse, why the fuck did they get the horse? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that is fun. Maybe that's how games are supposed to be played. I don't know. Who knows?
It's supposed to work together to try and win.
competitive
together.
people cannot work together.
Do you know what
'Cause
I find? I have Rail Raiders Infinite, which is not a collaborative game, but
Yeah,
it always starts collaboratively. So it always starts with everybody trying to help each other fight
Yeah.
against the robots. But then it devolves into grabbing cash towards the end, which seems to be quite fun. That seems to be fun as well because it starts in a kind of a we're all the bad guys trying to rob the train and blah blah, blah, and everybody will try and shoot the marshals, and then it turns into no, it's my gold, no, it's my gold. But it's still fun. That makes sense.
it's also then reminds me of Cash and Guns, which can also get quite.
That's an entirely different game and is for adults only.
I know, but
And I've had far too much fun playing that game as well.
I do have fun playing that game, but it
It's
does
so good.
end up in like petty squabbles over things.
Again,
No, it doesn't. You just end up pissed and wetting yourself laughing.
The best game that I've actually played where we all ended up pissed and wetting ourselves laughing was that like Pictionary kind of game where you got to describe something, draw it, pass it to the next person, they've got to interpret it, and then the next person. I don't. What?
Telestrations.
Yeah, I don't know. Something like that.
You basically got a flip book of like wipe dry stuff.
Yeah. And it was quite amusing, but you have to have a couple of sociopaths playing it to get some really weird fucking like responses to like really bad drawings.
Not really. Any group will generate that. Honestly,
No,
It's like
no.
playing Cards Against Humanity. You can make your mum swear by playing Cards Against Humanity. It's great. Getting my mother the first time she said "a motherfucking wizard," I cried laughing. I couldn't stop. I was on the floor.
Okay, that's fair enough, but after a while, even that game gets.
I
fucking
can't do Cards Against Humanity. anymore.
You have to not play it too often, and you have to make sure you have a decent number of expansions and the British cards in it. So I've got a British basic deck, and at a certain point, it was all the expansions. So I've got 2 full decks worth of stuff, and that's just to keep it topical whenever we play it. But we don't play it often, like annually. I don't play it a lot.
Yeah, but you can't. You can only read so many times Jade Goody's Cancerous Remains or whatever it is, basically, and it's
But if
just
you've
like,
got enough, they don't come around that often. It
game
works.
here, right? That if you're going for the nice, fun group, Colt Express.
what?
Ever played it?
No.
Colt Express? No. It's a game that I think it's sort of similar to Rail Raiders Infinite. You basically have a cardboard train.
Yep.
You have your meeples who can either be in the carriages or on the roof, and essentially what you do is you're playing your cards to the center of what you want to do, and then but you don't necessarily know what everyone else has played. And once everyone else has finished for this round, you flip the whole stack on end and start doing the actions from the top downwards. So what you might have wanted to do was walk forwards, go into a carriage, pick up some money, go on the roof and shoot the guy in the next carriage. But the problem is, when you walked into that carriage, rather than picking up the loot, before that, someone shot you. So you are now a carriage away and picking up an entirely different set of loot, which means that then the marshal catches you, sends you to the roof, and it just ends up as this whole thing of, oh, I'm totally not where I wanted to be.
That's fun.
It is very, very fun. And yeah, it is tactical in the sense of you get to choose what you're doing, and every round there'll be like a different effect played. So, one of them there might be the passengers revolt and kick all the robbers up onto the roof, or there's a sudden stop on the train so everyone moves one carriage forwards.
Serenity flies too far forward and you overshoot.
Or you can get the expansion, which it's an 1800s Western train that this is. The expansion is a DeLorean you can put at the front.
Yeah, okay.
And if you finish the turn in the DeLorean, everyone has to close their eyes, and you get to put your meeple under any one.
Oh. One of the best board games I've ever played was actually, I don't think it finished quite quickly, and we never played it again. Was this board game where you had to queue in Soviet Poland, basically, for like. It was a queue simulator, and you had to like.
You've seen it on TV as a comedy show sketch.
You had to queue for goods from like municipal stores, and there were like cards that you could draw where the person behind you grasses you into the security thing. And stuff like that, and like you had really abstract things like get some like clothes to go on holiday, and you had to like. And they had to be like from the generic grey clothes store or whatever. It was just so bleak but beautifully crafted and put together.
This
I never
sounds
played
like
it.
Papers, Please, the board game.
It really was kind of like that, and I was playing Papers, Please at the time. I should go back and finish that experience.
Okay.
I love Papers, Please.
There's no finishing Papers, Please.
Well,
It's just going until you're so depressed you commit suicide.
yeah, but getting a decent ending, like I think I stopped before I actually off myself in reality. But
It is a game that does.
pretty bleak.
The fact that as you're going, if you make mistakes, it does things like, your grandmother has now died of pneumonia because you can't afford to turn the heating on anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. By the way, your children are starving to death.
That's the only one of those games I've actually really enjoyed, those indie type of things. It's just really well done. Dark as fuck. But...
I would say, I can't remember what I think it's called Gunpoint. Is a really good one of the indie titles. It is called Gunpoint. Essentially, you're playing a hard-boiled detective who happens to have sort of spring launchers in his legs.
Inspector Gadget.
Yes, that's where I was going.
And he can hack electrical systems if he's near them. So you can do weird things like, connect the lift to a light switch so that when a guard who's in the dark tries to, flick the light on, the lift comes instead. So he goes and investigates the lift, and you can move between floors while he's doing it.
Oh, that's just cool.
Or one of the sillier ones was I attached the guard's gun, which is a smart gun, to an electrical socket, and then walked out the lift at a specific point. So he stood where he was, tried to fire at me, at which point the electrical socket exploded.
Okay.
So it's a really fun little game. I don't think it costs much money. And oh god, I've just realised how old it is. It's half a decade old.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like it's gone back a bit.
Right, what are we doing? This podcast is derailed.
We're going to go on to X-Wing. Mark
Yes,
II.
X-Wing.
Right.
So,
And Mike was going to tell us how amazing it is and how I should take some models out of the loft, because at the moment I'm thinking I'll never play the game again.
well, I'm not going to try and convince you if you're not playing it. But what I would say is that
Remortgage your house if you want to keep playing it.
cut back about a week ago. X-Wing as a whole it's had some problems in the recent time.
For a start, the X-Wing is shit.
Describe these problems.
So the problems that they're coming up against are the fact that they can't adequately change the cards as much as they'd like in any sort of reliable fashion. So they're basically issuing fix cards to previous ones. So the X-Wing is just getting the S foils so that it becomes a bit more maneuverable at the cost of some attack.
Turning it into an A-Wing.
The Star Viper had to have a negatively costed add-on for that as well, so that could move back into contention. The A-Wing had to have one where it turned its missiles off in return for a cost reduction.
Is
That was
this
the first
just
one. That
though?
was the first one to that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Is this just though for tournament play? Is this literally being driven by tournament play? Because well, X-Wing looked like a casual game. It looks like reenacting like Star Wars battles.
Depends on your group bench, because you can still at this point take out like 4 X-Wings and Luke, and then put them against like 12 TIE fighters with Darth Vader, and yet you'll have a very fun, tight game, and it'll be all about the maneuvering and getting inside target arcs and what have you. But if you're looking at the tournament level, you have some real problems. You have the existence of twin laser turret, which just is a bane on the game.
But that was a bane on the game when we were playing. Like, why is it taking so long to address this now?
Simply put, there's no way for them to address TLT. They don't want to ban cards. That's their number one rule. They've said we don't want to ban anything.
Why? They're effectively doing it by then fucking making another edition. I don't understand this. I mean, it's like a really shit excuse just to, make
But
another
the thing is,
edition.
that's addressing more than one card. So just take
Turrets in general seem to be the biggest single change.
They've announced version 2 of X-Wing, in which every single ship is getting new pilot cards. You're getting new bases for the ships, which are entirely redesigned.
So is this version 2 Mark II or second edition?
It's been described multiple ways. I believe FFG referred to it as just X-Wing.
Yeah, but GW refers to 8th edition 40Ks.
The artist
40K.
formerly known as.
Yeah, it's version 2 and second edition are kind of the common ones online.
Is version 2 all pink and fluffy? There's an obscure reference for you.
This game.
Mostly what they've done is they've culled off quite a few of the equipment cards in favor of doing things like baking them into the ships themselves. So where you previously had a TIE Advance, which you'd have the 0 point add-on to that would give you a 4 point cheaper system, and then you pick a system. Now both those cards have gone. You just get that system bolted onto the card, and you work from there.
Okay, I mean, I see what you're saying. But the cynical part of me is just like this game. I don't know. FFG. They just write some of the worst fucking rules, like for a game they want to be played at a tournament level, and then they just revamp a second edition. I mean, making it so you had to buy certain ships to get some cards and probably never play those ships again.
Which they've removed for version 2.
Well, that's fine, but it still existed for a fucking long time for the first edition.
Like they've got their money.
Because for a long time before Asmodee bought them, that was their business model.
Yeah.
It was the same as how every single starter that they produced, they never made enough of certain cards to put in them, so you had to buy multiple starter kits. It's they are changing it with this one that every single conversion kit comes with all the generic stuff plus the stuff for that faction, rather than it being, you can only get auto thrusters or afterburners, as they're now called, with Rebels.
It was always sold as like the FFG model was always sold as, well, you know what you're getting in a booster, whatever, or in a blister or in a fucking whatever. But they artificially created the need of those certain things to the point of, well, how is it any different from the gamble of basically just buying a booster pack for a blind booster pack for another game? Like, you still...
I don't get you, Benj. Sorry.
Why? Because you still have to
He's basically saying that you have to buy 6 boosters to try and get what you wanted. And correct me if I'm wrong, Benj, but in this game you had to buy all 6 of the boosters that came out because you wanted the subcards, even though you had no intention of playing the ship.
Yeah, that's pretty much
which amounts to the same thing.
You're talking about a difference.
There is choice there, though.
To go to the TCG model, you're talking the difference of saying, okay, I'll have 6 boxes of boosters for the next expansion versus, I probably will get 1 copy of this rare, maybe 2 if I'm lucky, versus I'm going to buy 1 ship of everything in this expansion and I know exactly what I'll have beforehand.
But then what happens if you want X amount of those other cards? There is an aftermarket where they were charging, and it's the same for any other FFG game.
Just buy another one of the expansion. You know exactly what you're getting in that expansion. It's not a case of I'll buy another booster. No, it's not in there. I'll buy another booster. It's not in there either.
It still feels exactly the same because you were paying still just a little bit more to get another ship. Yeah, you were getting, but it was a ship you were probably not going to play. You needed it for that card, or you could get the aftermarket one that was about 75% of buying the
entire collection. There is 2 ships that haven't been on the table of the 48.
Okay, that's fair enough for you. But there were meta lists. There were, they had exactly the same that other games had, just the failure to maybe acknowledge that this did happen, just grate me because it is exactly the same. It is a business model. It was just a scummy and like.
I refute that just
Okay.
completely. It's not. I will say it's not an ideal business model. I don't think it's anywhere near the TCG business model.
Okay.
They are two very.
It was irksome when there were certain cards that came out and you knew that you had to buy certain things and multiples. And I like the fact that multiple cards came out and when they brought out new expansions, there were multiples of those desirable expansions at times. So
that's something they started doing more and more as the game went on.
The twin turrets, a good example, wasn't it? You got two of them in something, didn't you?
Yeah, I believe some of the more recent ones they've even gone up to 4 copies of some of the cards just to go. Yep, there you go. There's your 4 copies. Have done.
Well, so you might buy one new ship, one new Falcon, or whatever, and you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, but they did create. They still were doing it for long enough that that was their business model. Fine. It's just I'm just saying they're just equally as scummy, in my opinion. You can disagree. That's perfectly fine.
I do.
You do have. I think there is a larger element of choice there, Benj. I don't entirely disagree with you because it comes back to yes, Mike. You're not throwing money away to get nothing for it, but there is this kind of. I bought ships that I couldn't quote the numbers that you can, but I bought ships that I don't think I've ever played because I wanted the expansion. I wanted the upgrade cards that were in there, and I never played at a tournament. I just wanted to be able to field that combo that I like the sound of.
Yeah,
I have in total done 1 tournament of X-Wing, and one tournament that was like a proper tournament. We've done some ones at club that's like, yeah, we're playing 2 rounds this week, 2 rounds next week, and I don't class those as proper tournaments because it's just the guys who play there for fun, and we just play jank lists that are weird.
That's fine. I'm also basing this on a lot of other games other than X-Wing as well, like Netrunner when it was at its peak, basically. But before they then released Netrunner 2.0 to try and eliminate some of the fucking artificial problems that they'd created there, which I never even bothered to read about because didn't like that matter either.
Okay, the problem there, from what I know of, essentially was that their cycling system never allowed the core set to cycle out.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And there was one thing in there that was always radically better than anything else they could basically do because they were trying to kind of create something interesting, different, and it hobbled them. So they created version 2 to say, okay, if that core's been replaced, that card is phased out.
Yeah, I know. Because there are lots of games where the core set ends up being like Hearthstone is a primary example of that. As much as people bemoan it, it's got a lot of problems.
If it's a card game, it's going to cycle at some point.
Yeah, but not cycling it for so long and people having to buy multiples of the core set to run X card, which did happen, and again a thriving aftermarket for when it was. You just end up. I think part of my thing there is that I didn't get out early enough and sell the shit before.
A lot of blind. I mean, Monpok got a bit like that as well in its time. I know what the new version of Monpok is coming out, and it's not collectible. It is just more like another miniature game. But that happened the same thing. There were aftermarket for the good stuff that you could buy, good stuff for good units, good upgrades, good award prize mega versions of monsters and stuff. It's the same sort of idea, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm more happy collecting Magic at the moment because I know that the market swings quite heavily and there is an established market basically. But some of the other games that were like these living card games which sold themselves. I mean, I'm still frustrated that I bought into the idea that I would know exactly what I was getting and could make fun stuff, and it was bollocks basically. It just became meta decks and stuff like that, the same as any other card game.
The only one I enjoyed was the War Machine one. I quite enjoyed that for a while.
What was that? Sorry, the War Machine one. Yeah, I did.
For a while, I did. Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
High Command was a good fun game.
Yeah,
it's just been shuttered.
It was just killed.
Yeah.
I think it ran out of places to go. To be honest, didn't it?
It got to a stage where it was like, where it had enough to basically sit there as a background board game. But I think
and it's kind of where could it go?
Bigger.
Sorry.
I think they intended to be something bigger, and it never got there, and was never going to.
Never got the traction that they originally. I don't know if they're even still supporting. People are talking about them not updating the application for the skirmish game. What is it now? The one that they're not updating.
Really?
Yeah,
it's going really well.
Whoa!
Company of Iron's got new solos in the CID bench.
Yeah, I was reading some things that apparently, like, the War Room application isn't actually updating for any of the cards and stuff like that, and they'd kind of abandoned it. But I don't know how true that was. It was a thread that I read, and I was
They're, as far as I'm aware, doing weekly Twitch stuff on it.
They are. Yeah,
there's stuff in the ID for it.
Fair enough. I don't know how massively it's taken off because I haven't seen anything about
it. Seems to be pretty popular. Seems to be a good gateway game by design. And
UK or US?
Worldwide. I don't know about UK. I can't comment on that. Well, I see it being played. I've seen it played. So, but I can't comment on wider than Southwest. But this seems to be a reasonable reception for it. But I haven't yet played it. I'm being kind of cajoled into it as a way back into War Machine, and I will probably. I'm tempted, just for a bit of variety, from getting away from Trolls. I said this last time I was going to play War Machine. I think Menoth with the CID and stuff I'll break that out and I'll have a crack at Company of Iron in the same sense.
Yeah.
Some exemplars. Throw some exemplars around.
Yeah, I've got a shitload of Menoth I'd like to play at some point.
So you'd be both. I've got Adjudicator that I haven't played in a very long time, and I quite like the new rules for it.
I think it's still garbage though.
Well,
it has got. I like the idea of extra damage dice now through Reliquary or whatever the fuck they call it.
Reliquary.
Yeah, that's how you fucking pronounce it.
It's like a pinky.
Yeah, and so
I'll keep writing jokes myself.
Okay, that's fine. So okay. Well,
but going back to X-Wing.
Oh. Totally.
Well, they've done some genuinely interesting stuff. So turrets were a problem.
I'm intrigued at how dramatically it's changed. I was surprised to see so much of a change in the kind of the stat card design and the way that it works. It's quite a dramatic change. So I'm intrigued by it.
But the basic stats are still there. You've still got your attack, you've still got your agility, you've still got your hull, you've still got your shield.
Yes.
They fiddled around with the numbers a little. They wanted to put more stuff on hull, fewer on shields, so that they can actually get the crit effects of the new damage deck out. They've added in a force mechanic for force users, because that was never, for some reason, planned into the first one, so that exists now. You've got a very late addition to the first version, the Bullseye Arc, which is now on every single ship, and a lot of the new pilot talents trigger off that.
That's replaced the turret, really, isn't it?
No. So the Bullseye Arc.
Oh, the Bullseye Arc is the straight ahead thing.
Yes, that's the range ruler in front of the ship, and anything in there, can trigger certain things.
It's it's the movable firing arc, which was on the weird looking Star Trek looking ship,
Shadowcaster,
that is now replacement for the turret, isn't it?
Yes. So previously, turrets by default, you had a 360 arc. You could never gain a bonus to agility for being at range 3. You never got bonus dice on attack for being at range 1. It was just all round all the time.
Now shoot you all day. Yep.
Now it's become you pick a direction and that's where your turret's facing until you take the action to change where your turret's facing.
Yeah.
So every ship now has 4 quadrants on it, and you can put it as forward, backward, left, or right. Which is, having played with the Shadowcaster, not as debilitating as you think, but it takes away the ability for that turret to be focused or target locked a lot in the late game, which is really important, because instead of just saying, yep, I fire it this way, you have to basically go, I think you're going to be in the back arc of my ship next turn, so I'll move it there, and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff like that.
That appeals because that was a big kind of sort of part of the meta of trying to deal with that, and circular kind of conversation, if you like, of turrets versus maneuverable ships to get around them, and vice versa.
Yeah, they've removed a lot of the dice stacking and adding results as well. So a lot of the cards that previously said add a hit result or add an evade result to your roll now say change one of your dice to a hit or an evade, because they were getting silly. I mean, there was a character called Fen Rao, played in one of the Protectorate Starfighters, which has changed name to something else entirely, where if he was in range one of you in your firing arc, he was rolling, what was it, his basic 3 dice plus another 2 for his ability, plus he'd get an automatic hit because of one of his talents. And you just sat there going, okay, I'm rolling 5 dice, I'm getting an automatic hit, and then realizing on defense that you were also getting like 3 dice plus 1 automatic evade.
Wow.
And it was just appalling because you couldn't hit some of these ships. So that's entirely gone. Barrel roll has partially changed, so they've now got this line down the middle of all the turrets,
right?
All the templates, which you line up.
So you can't do this forward and back drift on the barrel roll.
So it ends up as being there are only 3 places on either side that you can place your barrel roll. And if you can't fit into them now, you lose the action entirely.
Ooh.
Previously, it's like, I'll see if I can barrel roll perfectly into this spot. Now it's you've got to be in one of these 3. If you miss it, you're down an action. If you try and target lock something that's out of range, you lose your action.
Oh, wow.
It's really simple. Push the limit was a really big thing in X-Wing.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that is gone entirely. Now, some ships have linked abilities. So, Vader used to take push the limit all the while.
Yeah.
Now it's gone.
Because he could have bonus action as well, couldn't he? As well, yeah.
Well, now he can spend force points to take the bonus action.
Ooh.
But the TIE Advance also has, if you take a focus, you can take a red barrel roll as well, which is this new concept. Some of the actions are red. The Y-Wing can now barrel roll, but it's red.
Oh, wow.
And there's things
which
like...
means it causes you stress in the same way as maneuvers, yeah.
Yeah, and the coordinate on the decimator, that's red as well. So it's all these little things that are like, okay, this is a much more interesting concept. They've even changed the dials. So previously you had a little window through which you could see one move on your dial.
Yep.
Now the entire dial is open with a marker on one side to say, this is my maneuver.
So you can look at your maneuvers as a glance without having to cycle through them.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there and go, hang on, do I have a 3-turn? Do I have a 3-turn? Oh, wait, this is the wrong dial. Hang on. No, it's this one, yes. And putting the ship names on the back of the dials so you can see which one they're meant to be next to on the table. It's all the little quality of life stuff that they're really kind of...
I thought you hate the phrase quality of life.
No, it was elegant that I had.
Who was it who hates quality of life?
It's an elegant solution.
Is it? Get out.
Just because I'm elegant, fuck off. What?
Yeah. No, Kurt, you're dapper.
I'm not sure to be offended or not. I quite like that. Not right now, I'm not. Not a Batman t-shirt.
Batman.
For those of you who are into X-Wing and kind of haven't got this far or heard the news, the basic stuff that you will need to convert from version 1 to version 2
is cash.
It's cash. Lots and lots of cash.
You need a core set for the new damage deck.
A new credit card.
Which if you pre-order at a bricks and mortar retailer and don't physically pick it up, you get a full-size damage deck with which is the special X-Wing damage deck.
Oh, that's what annoyed me as well, when the fucking damage decks changed for tournaments and you had to have the fucking second core set fucking.
They didn't.
Oh, but
No,
somebody told me.
No, that's never happened.
Really?
So, what happened was the Force Awakens set came out. It was meant to the new damage deck, and they said, "Look, from next year, we're going to phase this one in." The community went, "No." So FFG went, "Okay, from next year, you can choose which one of the damage decks you use."
Okay, I never knew that. I only heard the other part of it, and at that point, I wasn't really keen on playing in the tournament either way.
So that was what happened with that. But no, for the conversion kit, you basically need core set for the templates for the line down the middle and the damage deck. That also includes, I think it's Porkins and Luke who aren't in the conversion kit. Then the conversion kit, you buy one for your faction, which is new bases because they've been entirely redesigned. Your new movement dials because a lot of ships have had stuff added, removed.
The bases have been redesigned, or they've had notches added.
The cardboard stuff for the bases has been redesigned.
Oh, okay.
So every ship now has a bullseye arc.
Yeah.
Every ship now has four quadrants diagonally. Every ship now has lines on the left and right, so you can tell if something's in front arc or back arc. And they've removed the stats from the ship.
So we get back strikes now as well.
You potentially can with some of the talents. We don't know.
Damn you, and you're spoiling my jokes.
Yeah.
Anyway, are we done?
No.
Oh.
We're not. I can talk about X-Wing forever.
No, you could not. Because eventually I would get to Basingstoke.
Yeah. I would eventually get to Kurt's rendezvous and we'd end up in.
Okay, well, seeing as you're both determined that we should.
No, I am. You have sold it on me a little bit. I'm not about to rush out and purchase the expansion. Let's see what happens. What I will do though, I will watch more YouTube videos about it. I did enjoy watching Team Covenant talk about the changes in the conversion. They had one of the designers and they were doing test games with it, and I quite like that. So I will go and watch more and see how I feel about it.
There are two big test games on YouTube that are available. One is Team Covenant, which is a really good demo game. Shows you all the new mechanics, goes through a lot of the reasoning behind why things have changed.
So that's Zach, one of the designers.
Yes, that's Zach, one of the designers. I think that one's Alex Davey. The other one is Bell of Lost Souls with someone who looks like Nick.
Does they have weird camera angles though? That's the thing I struggle with Bell of Lost Souls. I like the rest of their stuff. It's just when they do game reports, you go, I can't follow anymore.
I gave up on Bell of Lost Souls as a website after so many clickbaity articles.
The problem they have is that they sent someone along to the preview who clearly hasn't played X-Wing in a very long time, because they don't know how to execute a Talon roll. And the more I watched, the more frustrated I got with the game, because I'm just sat there going, but why would you choose that maneuver? That's clearly insane.
So Zach all the way. We like Zach.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in ages, but we like Zach.
Team Covenant do some very, very good work on multiple game systems.
They do.
And if you're into any of the stuff they run, highly recommend what they do. Because
they're into hobby stuff, but they're into really cool games. Yeah, totally agree.
They are real professionals as well, and have some very good cameras recording stuff.
They do.
And some very good microphones.
They do.
So, yeah, they're like 12 steps up on us.
They're really good.
Okay. Should we finish off for the evening there then?
Who are we finishing off?
I can't remember if there was any other subject. Was that the whole topic? 'Cause I can't remember.
That's pretty much.
Yes.
I think that's everything we said we were going to talk about.
I think everything else was just movie related. If people want to post credit,
I think we'll leave the Golden Crucible, whatever it's called, until it actually comes out.
Yes, because then you can talk through all the models and
decide how much I really want to actually spend that much money.
At that stage, you'll have already been sitting with the box in front of you, so you can do an unboxing video while podcasting.
Yeah, see.
You're going to buy
that much money.
You're going to buy it regardless.
I've got to find that much money and work out which month I can spend that much money in. But I might do.
Why don't you sell your shares in fucking Simon Zombicide Corp?
Because I like him. Because I like it. If
Okay.
somebody will buy my Circle, I'll buy Golden Crucible, whatever they're called.
They're called the Crucible Guard. Come on, it's
I keep
not that
forgetting.
hard.
I know it's not. I haven't read it enough times yet.
Okay. Right. Well, why don't you advertise them aggressively?
I might.
Why don't you melt them down for scrap and sell the scrap?
It'll be worth more at the moment. The current where the Circle
Wants to
is.
buy the metal at cut prices.
There must be somebody that's like wants to have a really miserable gaming experience.
There
Buy
must
some
be, isn't there?
Circle.
Well, there's you, so there must be other
Miserable
people as
gaming
well.
experience. Benj, that is you every
Yeah.
single week.
I am a
There must be
delightful
other people like you, there mustn't there, who want to do it with werewolves.
Oh dear.
Okay.
What happened there?
What happened there? Sorry, I was booting up something.
Okay.
Oh.
It's Ben actually trying to escape this podcast purely by just.
I
doing
can't.
all
I
things.
can't. But we've actually managed to actually stretch this out longer than I anticipated. Like,
I
mean-
mean, we're taking up your precious free time, Benj.
no, no, not at all, not at all. It's just, I know where we're going. Like, I've kind of peaked at my hatred.
We're going towards any
FFG.
other business, Benj, is where we're
I
going.
know other business, and that
I
takes.
don't think we have any other business. This entire podcast has been any other.
We should change the name to Elite Any Other Business.
Any other business, elite.
This has just been rambling for hours at this point.
I
frankly.
think we would have a better time if all three of us went to the cinema and then did a podcast about that. Should we start becoming an entertainment podcast or like a book club podcast? We all rent a movie off of or watch something on Netflix and then come back.
And then it would just be me shouting at Kurt for an hour while you laughed.
We might agree. We might agree on one movie every 8 years.
I think that's about the average.
Well, all three of us, because Mike and I agree on quite a number of movies.
No,
We've established that before.
tonight you have not. Tonight you have.
No, tonight we haven't, but in the past we really have. I think we're
Yeah, I
very
know.
much on the same page with Mr. Gilliam's concerned. We have
I know,
very
but
similar-
I sense the light in you, or the darkness in you. You might-
So we could have I think we could definitely have some mileage, not right now, in the debate around the Star Wars movies, because I think age plays a massive part in that, and that could be a very interesting debate, but not for today.
Yeah, I wonder if Star Wars will have like, and I was talking this through with someone, how cult Star Wars was before we had any more Star Wars movies. Do you
But-
think that the Disney saturation will make it not as legendary as those 3 movies were?
I think that's a fair point. I also find it a very interesting dynamic as to people's differing opinions on Rogue One, because they're so drastically different, and I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I found more people that liked Rogue One than disliked it.
Still gets voted really. I mean, IMDb scores are good, but the general kind of, you look at favorite Star Wars movies, it's way down there.
Well,
Even though
the interesting thing is, I really loved Rogue One. Nick, who I kind of assumed,
Yep.
oh yeah, he
No.
likes vaguely the same kind of films. No,
if you
didn't
don't,
like
I
it at
think
all.
it comes down to if you don't remember, if you weren't eagerly waiting for the prequels. So if you don't remember waiting for the prequels and then being massively disappointed, then you generally don't like Rogue One. If you remember being massively let down by the prequels, you think Rogue One is the second coming.
I
That's
like
my
that.
assessment.
But let's save the Star Wars talk for another day.
That's what I was saying. Yes,
Yeah.
let's do that another time. Any other business? Mike, start with you for a change.
I don't have any more business. I haven't done anything other than what I've already said. I went to a tournament. I've been looking at X-Wing Mark II. What more is there to say?
I meant hobbying, well, I suppose. Or
Oh,
anything
God,
else. God, no.
I moved some of the models on my desk because I got some stands for my monitors. So now they're not just cluttering up everywhere. That's literally
Your
about it.
monitors. My monitors have been arms off bolted to the back of the desk 6 years now. But anyway,
I did consider
Yes.
it. Glass stands were cheaper.
this is a pole with both of them mounted on it, and lots of lights everywhere else. Yes.
Kurt, how about yourself?
I'm currently painting more bits of a Helldrake, and have been painting lots of Thousand Suns, and some bits of Zombicide just to cheer Benj up with my daughter. because she wants to pick Harlequins. I'm like, let's start somewhere. Let's start somewhere. So we're doing zombie-side figures. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I'm playing lots of random stuff. And I played 40k this week and had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Last week. Not this week, last week. I don't know what day it is.
It's Wednesday.
You lie. Oh, that was fun on the radio this morning. Complete lie about the day of the week. That was fun. Anyway, moving on. Yes. That's my business, I think. Painting. Lots of painting. Zangor, lots of random thousands on stuff, including the Mutilist Vortex Beast, which I thoroughly enjoyed putting on the table. There you go.
Benj?
I've been occasionally going to the movies and enjoying it.
I think we did Infinity War right at the start, didn't we? I enjoyed that too.
Was that in the preamble?
That was in the preamble, yeah.
It was a good movie, and I wasn't expecting much because I was kind of all marveled out at that stage. So I
loved it.
Pleasantly refreshing bad guy that was interesting.
I think my Disney Marvel shares are comparable with my Simon shares.
The only thing that was missing was Hawkeye for... I don't know. I like Hawkeye.
And Ant-Man. Where was Ant-Man?
The Marvel machine just produces some, decent to pretty damn good popcorn movies, and I think that's a perfect place for it to be in. If I want my high concept movies or something a lot deeper, I've got other places I can go. Until
they get the rights to Alpha Flight and it becomes all in depth. That was just for Jamie. That was not that he'll listen, but Alpha, Jamie, I'm all over it. We definitely need an Alpha Flight movie. Actually, I did get invited to go to the cinema with him. I did.
What happened?
He's 3,000 miles away.
Well, just sort it out.
He's like, I'm going to go tomorrow. Do you want to come? I'm like, yeah, I would, but I'm washing my hair.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, so how short my hair is now.
I would say, while we're on the briefly on the movie talk before we finish off, I did recently watch The Neon Demon.
I started it.
I
keep meaning to go back to it. It does look really good.
It's... I don't adequately know how to describe it.
I'm going back to it. Excellent. I like that reaction. That reaction is awesome.
Because, I've sat there and I've read reviews of it. I've listened to reviews of it. And they range from, this is a fantastic work of art, to, this is the biggest load of tripe I've ever seen.
I started it and got distracted. I think I fell asleep, but not because of the film, just because of me. So I keep meaning to go back to it.
I sat there at the end and had to think, what did I just watch?
Excellent. I like that kind of film. I'm going to watch that this weekend.
Yeah. All I will say is, don't watch it with the kids around.
Dear God, no. No. I was not. No. Late night alcohol. Done. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a better way to watch it. And
I was planning on doing that.
There's at least, I think I said about 3 different interpretations I can get from that film, and they might all be right. They might all be wrong. So
this is a bit of vein. Have you ever watched Upstream Colour for Chris Cawthorne? Obviously?
Yes, I have.
And that's a film that I have watched 3 times and still don't know what it's about.
I love that movie.
I've
only watched it once.
I've got no idea what it's trying to say. Primer, same director.
Oh, Primer. I love Primer.
How many times have you watched Primer?
Hundreds.
So I found it changed every watching up to about watching 6th or 7th time, and even then I learned more every time. And it's a really simple film, and the 4th time was positively a horror, but only the 4th time.
Primer is one of those films where if you say to someone, "Oh, you should watch Primer," and they go, "What's it about?" It's like, I can't tell you.
You can give the basic concept. I don't think there's anything wrong with the basic concept because it happens pretty quickly. Just you can't talk about the consequences.
It's time travel. You just say 2 people invent a time machine. It goes wrong.
Even then, I don't like to give the time travel bit away because of...
I don't think it's a big spoiler.
Precisely because of the jargon that happens at the start and
the DVD box pretty much says it. But I don't think you would never put that together for the beginning for never one watched it. The beginning is amazing when you've watched it a few times, and the noises in the background at the beginning and what makes it horror on the fourth watch. It's horrific when you realise what those noises are.
Okay.
The noises in the background at the beginning are frightening when you realise what they are.
Wait. I might not have got this, despite all the flow charts.
Well, spoilers. We might have to do this off air because it's very spoilery. If people haven't
dude,
watched it.
people will not watch the movie. I tell them to try and watch it.
My mum bought it so we could watch the extras. I have my mum's DVD because the audio commentary is so good.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. I'll tell you in a minute.
Fair enough. Right, should we end it there then, chaps?
Yeah, so it's a good plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have also gravelled a bass lick as well. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
Do you want to silence off, Kurt?
Yeah, happy to. You've been listening to Elite Cadre. I'm not quite sure what it is anymore. It's a podcast and we talk nonsense. I've been Kurt.
I've been Mike.
I've been Benj.
Bye, Nick.
Bye.
Alex, come back soon.
There you go. That's a podcast. Thank you everyone for listening. We're going to stop
Byron
it here.
Byron and Richard.
Yeah, we're going to stop it here so that Kurt can talk about things. So
yeah, if either of you want to talk to me about primary, you can as well. But I'm sure you can Facebook message me or something.